We are live. What is going on?
How's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really great. I have a new shirt that I bought today.
Please go ahead and
To represent.
before we do anything.
Yeah, to represent. Where have we been, Locas? Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. The face that Kristen Stewart makes when my shirt scrambles up.
This
Yeah,
is
I found this on my local Target. Thanks to my roommate for suggesting it. Shout out to Anthony. Literally, he showed up one evening, and I was like, "I love your shirt." And he's like, "Dude, it's at the Target," and I was like, "Okay," for like $12. So we went. We went.
wow.
Yeah, that was a little
This is
little story.
This is Our Real Addiction endorsing Twilight.
Twilight. Yeah. Give me actually gonna give us a sponsorship. Do you think Twilight will ever become a TV series?
Yeah, remember we talked about it like close to like a year ago where they had one in development.
Oh,
And it was honestly, I think it's like our most watched reel.
that's funny because
Yeah.
I thought it was about the Harry Potter. I thought we were talking about the Harry Potter TV series.
It was Harry Potter, and then there was also the what you call it
The Twilight one.
yeah, those are different times.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, ideally now, especially with the age of streaming, it's the better route to take. But yeah, I mean, that's not what this episode's about. How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode.
Yeah.
Episode 138.
Yes, question mark. That is in debate. That is up for confirmation, so we don't know. It's possible that it is 138. It may be 139. I don't know.
Who knows? Well, you'll find out once we post. Or listen, which is great.
Yeah. Preferably, hope you guys are watching this on YouTube and subscribing. If you're subscribing, if you're not subscribing, what are you doing?
Exactly.
You know, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I mean, it's another down week, I would say.
Yeah, nothing much has been going around again with the whole writer's strike.
There's movies out.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, though. I haven't been to the movies much this month, though.
At all? Really?
Not really. I think I went like once in August.
I've been... I think I went... Actually, I don't remember if I saw anything in August. I may be wrong. I have to check my stubs list.
Yeah, same here.
That's the cool thing about having stubs. Again, I'm not trying to promote AMC or anything, but
I know what you mean.
A breakdown. I know, right? It's funny. I saw this bit on Instagram about this guy who does stand up. Did you see it too?
Yeah, it was on TikTok where I saw it.
It was on TikTok, yeah. And he was talking about how he's like, so I have AMC stubs, and obviously I feel like it's self-promotion at its best, because if you don't have it, your friends will tell you to get it, those who do have it, and then you end up having it. And then if you watch a movie twice in a month, you basically earn your money's back. And when he
pays for itself.
Pays for itself. Yeah, I was like, wow, that's actually a really good way of putting it. But everyone has their own memberships and everyone has their own things that they're subscribed to. So, if you want to add stubs to the list, it's not a bad deal.
Yeah, this is somewhat
of a frequent moviegoer like ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, frequent is in question, but we're there.
As of right now, frequent
is
in question.
But yeah, so this episode is just another down week. We're just kind of catching you up on things that have been going on in the movie biz, clearly. But obviously we're gonna give you off our box office, and everything else will be as followed. Especially with the new announcement that came out today. You'll hear about it.
So I just knocked over one of my lights, and you're gonna hear that.
Oh.
Yeah, knocked over. It's not like a big deal, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, we're gonna obviously.
Do you want to pick that up?
No, it's all good. We're just gonna jump right into the box office. There's one movie out that I have no idea what it is, but we'll talk about that. But coming in at number 5 is Barbie, making $5.7 million. It brings the grand total up to $1.4 billion, and 126 million is domestic, and the other half is the other portion of it is international, and that sits at 783 million. So Barbie continues to just hang around. There are quite a few movies still out. Barbie's already on digital as of this week,
Yeah,
so it's still kicking
but
around.
I would hold off until it gets to streaming because it's so crazy. Like this is something I'm glad not to like derail the thing, but I saw on Apple or iTunes the movie rental is $25 and to purchase the movie is also $25.
Yeah,
Or I could be wrong by a couple dollars, but like geez, you guys, I remember when movie stores were still around and I mean movie rentals were still around and like
bring them
you could go
back.
and yeah, and then you can get it there for like literally three-quarters of a price discount. That's insane to me, but whatever. Um, yeah, obviously, if you guys know, there's some certain websites you won't name drop.
Don't we are not gonna do this. We are not gonna do this.
Anyway, what's number
We
four?
are not going to help with the pirating issue.
What pirating? What are you
Oh
talking
my
about?
gosh.
What do you mean?
It's gonna start playing at the beginning of all our episodes, that old ad that we were talking about just a few weeks
Oh
ago.
my god.
But
We really need to record that.
oh my gosh. But coming in at number 4 is a film called Jawan. It made $6.1 million. I got no clue what this is, but it's a the description on Box Office Mojo is a high octane action thriller which outlines the emotional journey of a man who is set to rectify the wrongs in society. Okay, so he's going around just killing a bunch of bad people.
Okay.
So it made
Uh,
6.1
is it a live
million.
is it a live action?
Yeah, this is I think it's like one of those I don't want to say like the Bollywood films just cuz I don't. Yeah, it's a Bollywood film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hey,
Yeah.
honestly, well, for me, I'm not in the Bollywood like fan club per se, but I need to start watching some of them because I feel like there's a lot of obviously a lot of influence there,
Yeah.
and probably some of the best action sequences to hit the screens
Yeah.
ever.
It's only
Because I
released domestically, so in the US, and it's since its opening release, it's made set an additional $1 million, so it's currently sitting at 7.4 million. Um
nice.
I always the posters I will commend them for that because they always have super dope looking posters where
They're
I'm just like,
fire. Like whoever gets down on that Photoshop app is getting down because they
yeah,
have such a unique style with it. I mean, even too when it comes to like other foreign films such as like Japanese films, like their posters are always sick. Like I think I saw a thread online about like the Japan posters for the Batman, the one with Michael Keaton,
mm-hmm,
and it looks so cool
yeah,
and how different and like the design was. I mean, obviously it's like it just feels more art induced. So,
yeah, creatively inclined.
uh-huh.
I guess you kind of have to be when you know your film needs that extra boost, whereas like a Disney film can put out a very generic film poster, and mainly because majority of us are going to go see it anyways. So
Right.
that's I can see that. But coming in at number 3 is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. That's funny. The third film in the franchise is sitting at number 3. But it made $10 million in its opening weekend. And it currently sits at 12 million since, so it's made an additional two. Domestically, it has $10 million, and internationally, it's made $2 million. So yeah, I've never seen any of these, but I know my mom loves these films.
I'm gonna be
Um,
honest. I thought I I thought they were like uh because I remember seeing them in video stores. I could be wrong. My memory's all messed up, but I thought they were done with those movies.
well, they made two, but like
Yeah.
everything today in Hollywood, everybody is getting a reboot sequel.
True.
So Yeah, that's the day and age of Hollywood that we live in. Speaking of a third film in the franchise, coming in at number 2 is The Equalizer 3, making $12 million in this past weekend. It currently sits at $107 million, 61 million of that being domestic and 45 of that being international. I've still never seen them. I think you saw this, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the third one yet, but I did say that The Equalizer is a pretty good franchise if they're trying to do a franchise. But if it sits pretty on the third one, it's a good trilogy, that's for sure.
I
I
mean,
think
at
yeah,
3
you
you're
can't
already
go
a franchise.
pretty much, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always just like you don't know whether you're going to be a trilogy or a franchise, but it really just
What
depends on
determines
the
if it's a
studios.
franchise or not?
I think it's passing a third one because obviously with three, it's just a trilogy. Um, Once it's like it keeps going, and then I think that's determines a franchise. I could be wrong though. This is just me basing off my knowledge from like Randy from Scream 3 when he like comes back for that split cameo and he's all like, if you're in a sequel and nothing's happening right now that in regards to a trilogy rules, you're fine, but you're also gonna like not live. But if things are coming back from the past and it's coming to haunt you, you're in a trilogy, you're in the final installment, and all bets are off. So that's my understanding of a franchise. Thanks to Randy from Scream 3. So
I would say it's a
uh,
franchise already. So right
I
here
mean,
it says a film franchise or movie series is also referred to as a film franchise is a collection of related films in succession that share the same fictional universe or the same market or are marketed as a series. It can also be either by title, characters, or fictional universe, and is the dream of every studio. Obviously, the dream of every studio. Come on now,
yeah, you
people.
got stupid studios.
Come on now.
No, it's not about your dreams. It's about the
About
jobs and the
what
people.
it's about what we want.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So that comes in at number 2. Coming in at number 1, I think this is no shock. Coming in at number 2, or excuse me, number 1 is The Nun 2. That made $32.6 million. Currently sits at $88 million. 32 of that being domestic and 55 of that being international. You had the opportunity to see this.
I did. I saw it during this past weekend. I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it. I'm gonna give a non-spoiler review because Adam still hasn't seen it, and also too, um, that'd be a whole different episode. However, I feel like it's a far more superior film than the first. I think they did a really good job in expanding the world of the nun and kind of obviously opening its doors to the backstory of this demon called Valak. I think the focus on it um was obviously was on the demon, but it had every character involved changed and had reason to be on screen and to be throughout the story. There's dynamics of a mother and daughter, and then there is obviously returning characters like Vera Farmiga, who I just want to give a complete and awesome shout out to because she is just such a fantastic actress. The first time I saw her was obviously in American Horror Story season 1, and since then, I think her acting has just not saying that it was bad. I think I just as a performer, I think she's fantastic, and she's just only getting better, which I really enjoyed. And in this movie, she really shines through as a powerful lead. I don't remember that much of the first one, which is probably why I say too that it's a much more memorable film because there are some fantastic scenes in here that are just visually more like fantastically played out, and also too contradicting as it may be, I'm sorry, but I did enjoy this more than Talk to Me.
Interesting.
I know.
It's not Vera Farmiga in the Nun. It's her sister, right?
Well, Vera, sorry, Thaisa. I
I
keep doing this. My bad. Thaisa, I'm over here praising her. I forget her name. I'm sorry. Thaisa Farminga, which I sorry, but I do want to give a shout out to the director, which is Michael Chaves. He's directed two films before in terms of horror. He's done La Llorona, and then he did The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It.
hmm.
Um, I've seen both those films, and in this one, his directing has just improved for sure. There's some really good creative scenes here. And it's like, you know how some movies, Insidious, The Red Door, um, have really dark lighting, and then you're just kind of squinting at the scenes. This one is just proves to be like um and a lot like a more elaborate take on that, but with
Mm-hmm.
obviously more less jump scares and more of like the visual eye and the weariness and the claustrophobia of some scenes. And there are some pretty good choices that were made here that I really enjoyed as a horror fan. And from a thriller perspective, I think that this has it all nailed up. Um, Marco Beltrami again does a score, and he is fantastic as always. And then the cinematographer Tristan Naibai, I hope I'm saying that right, is excellent at capturing long shots, especially because this takes place during 1956 in France. So to see that part of the city and the elements of all that come together, including this, obviously with the demon, was just really nice. I really enjoyed it. For people that are hating on this movie, I kind of just want to give you a message. If you're basing off your opinions off like whatever you see online with uh like either Metacritic or Rotten Tomatoes, just stop. Just because I feel like immediately that will shape your viewing perspective as an audience, and you won't be able to get to enjoy the movie. Also, too, you are your own being, and you have to like make your own opinions on your own time. And I feel like if you could just go in and have fun with this movie, you're gonna have fun, because I went in there without even knowing the Rotten Tomato score, and I saw this movie on Sunday, and I haven't even seen the Metacritic, and I hadn't even seen any early reviews either. So me going in with like the naked eye was really great, no expectations whatsoever, and automatically too, you're just invested, which is what a sequel should do, especially when the first one wasn't like as
Nothing
present as this
to
one is.
remember.
Exactly, because I only remember like a couple scenes that maybe had scared me. But
I
this
feel
was
like
great.
the first one had a lot of potential to really really create, I feel like, a film in the Conjuring series that could have been rememberable. But obviously they dropped the ball with that. I remember
And they
seeing I
pick it right.
saw hmm?
Sorry, you were saying.
No, go ahead.
And they picked it right back up in this movie.
Hmm.
There's an expansion of the story that they're in, and there's also a connection now with the Conjuring universe, and it's fantastic. And to have the Farminga sisters be in the same universe, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Obviously, respectively at different times, it's still pretty freaking cool. I like that. Hopefully, they come back together, because there is a teaser. Stay after the post credit scenes. There is an after credit if you go see this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
You
Yeah,
were saying
obviously
though.
the
I'm
Nun. I
sorry.
mean, well, obviously the first Nun's a spin-off from the first two Conjurings. Because I remember seeing the first one. I mean, I'll admit I was scared, but I scare easily, so I'm the targeted audience. They want me in the theaters. I mean, I go see them. I'll go see a horror film, but um, no, yeah, I don't know. This one I want to see, but I just like lately I just haven't had the need to go to the movies, or like even like the want to go to the movies, because like I want to see Gran Turismo, but I'm just like, do I really want to drive to the theater to see that? You know,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Even
yeah.
if it's like not even that far of a drive, I get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Is-
well, the one I go to is about 20 minutes from me, so yeah. I mean, that's not far, but still,
yeah.
yeah, but also too. I mean, not saying like I would never pirate the film at all, like
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
I would never do that.
um,
But
I was gonna say to finalize that, I think it's pretty good. It's obviously there is a fandom here because people love the Conjuring series and the world around it. I think anything when it comes to like in the realm of Insidious or the Conjuring, people will show up to go see, because having an opening of what you said, 32.2 million,
yeah,
it's pretty great. It did better than Scream 6 when they released this year. I think the weekend was only like 10 million.
I think
Uh,
that's simply just because The Conjuring is a
completely whole different
studio.
force. Yeah.
It will the Conjuring like franchise has simply been present in like film for the last 10 years, whereas Scream took its little breaks. It was a
Yeah,
pretty big
of
gap
course.
in between 4 and 5. So I think it's more of just like presence of like the films coming out, at a
Yeah,
consistent rate, more or less, as opposed to taking 5 years off or taking 2 to 3, years off. Um,
that's definitely the biggest factor too. I think also
um,
I think I'd like that to slasher versus supernatural forces slash demonic
yeah,
entities. Like, I think people gravitate towards that because it feels a little bit more real, even though literally a slasher can be as well as real.
Well,
But
a slasher is way more. You're more prone to encounter a slasher than you are. I feel
yeah,
a demonic presence, but like think about it, like the '80s, why the slashers were so good is because that was never done before. It was so realistic. They built fear on that. It can be, for example, a Scream, anybody you know, or Michael
mm-hmm.
Myers can be an escape asylum, or even somebody haunting you on campgrounds, or chasing you on campgrounds. It's just like they made it so realistic, or like Jeepers Creepers and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you get stranded in the middle of nowhere. So it's just
Yeah,
like it's
it's the
so they
scenarios
built on
of
the
the
practical style of fears, and I think we've become so prone to that and like desensitized to
oh for sure.
situations like that. But if you're curious to see how the first Nun did, I got those numbers for you. So the first Nun had a total worldwide box office of $365 million. In domestically, it made 117, and internationally, it made 248. I hate to say it, I don't see the Nun 2 coming anywhere close to that. Um, the Nun 2, in my opinion, is a film that's gonna just cycle out stupidly quick and then be put onto streaming like 3 weeks after it releases.
Yeah, that
Um,
happened to Bottoms today. I think it's going to be available to stream by the 22nd of
yeah.
this month.
So
And Bottoms released like literally on the 31st of uh August in
yeah,
selective theaters too. So I don't know. But that's a whole different entity, of course, different studio.
yeah, for sure.
I see that happening too, just because obviously there might be more revenue in streaming.
More
Um,
traction for people to be like, you know what? It's on streaming. I'm gonna watch it now.
yeah.
Which is what I
I
may
fr-
wait for
yeah. And that's fair,
because I totally wouldn't pirate this film.
Absolutely not. No
That's
pirates
just
at all.
wrong. That is
You
wrong. And
wouldn't
if you're
go
doing
on
that,
these
we do not
websites that will probably be
condone
in
this.
the video comment portion of this video.
It definitely won't be. But if you're pirating films, we don't condone that, and we don't recommend it either. Okay, so shame on you if you're doing it, because neither of us are. We're totally not doing that at
Right.
all. Um,
Uh-huh.
no cam rips in this house. So yeah,
Sir, this is a studio.
you're right. No cam rips in this studio.
Oh
But
man.
no, yeah. In unrelated news, new iPhone got announced today.
The 15th.
The iPhone 15, which is starting at the same price as last year's. So that's good to hear, because last year was a Christ and Priest. I know it was projected to have a Christ and
For
Priest this
sure.
time.
Like a lot. I think oh my god, yeah. I don't know. Man, they're expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
if you really think about it, like your own, like what's in your pocket, it's like $1,100 to $1,300 phone. But in a sense, too, with all the capabilities of it,
It's a
and what you can
computer, a
do, it's like
camera.
computer on the go. Like,
Yeah.
and then now, I honestly love the cinematic mode. I was taking, last week I took a little minication to visit my friend Sylvia. Shout out to her in Arizona, and I was just filming everything in cinematic mode as we stayed at this hotel called the Hotel Vendome, and it was supposed to be haunted. So I'm over here like ghost encounters, let's go. And I'm like recording things throughout the hotel to see if I could see like a shadow or anything. I didn't. But it was such a cool feature. Like I love the focus. A bit glitchy at times when you have more than one object in the room, especially
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to people, but and especially when you're outside. I realized that I was recording at it through a park and it was finding its I think unless I tapped it on my focus, then like on my object or my subject, I mean, then it would focus. But if you have like three people standing and you're recording, it kind of takes a while to like pick who to focus on. But
Yeah.
obviously, just little things that you can fix.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like the cinematic mode for the camera point of view is the best addition to the iPhone. But I mean, I don't know. That's
Yeah.
my input on that. Hopefully, it's improved with the 15th. But so far, I think what was announced was the new 15, a new Apple Watch,
Yeah.
um, and then I don't know what else was announced.
So they announced obviously the Apple Watch. I think it's 9 that they're on. Yeah, yeah, it's a 9 because the 8 came out last year with the Ultra. The Ultra 2, the iPhone 15, and then obviously the 15 Pro models. All everything's more or less the same. This is the middle year, where next year's probably the redesign or a new shakeup of colors. This is pretty interesting though. So they're keeping the blue. They gotten rid of like the white style model because we have the what is it, the space gray. You have the blue returning, but it's like a navy or a more navy, as opposed to like that faded style blue. There's two colors of gray, there's a gray, what looks like a gray, and now they have a titanium, which looks to replace the gold. So this is interesting. So a couple of things that have changed. They finally given us USB-C, which is the one reason I want this phone, simply for it. But other than that, outside of the 14, if you have the 14, there's literally no point in upgrading. Everything's more or less the same. But the Wi-Fi 6, your Wi-Fi 6E, you're not going to see the biggest differences because I think the 14s are on Wi-Fi 5. You're not going to see that big of higher speeds. You won't be able to notice it. You will have faster speeds. You won't be able to notice it. It's gonna be like couple milliseconds that you're gonna. Yeah, it's like nothing insane. Now, if you were on like an 11, you may experience like, oh yeah, this is a lot faster than what I used to have. This is interesting. This is what I like. They used to do a titanium finish. They're adding a ceramic shield to the side of it now, which I do like. Wow. So that's pretty interesting because they used to have Apple Watches that had ceramic finishes with their stainless steels, which always made it look very, very nice.
Yeah, it made it look fancy.
Yeah, those are like the 700 models, which I believe they've like phased out and they no longer offer that. Obviously, the always on display coming back, the all day battery life coming back. You kind of have to continue to offer that with your phones now that you brought it in. But here's the most interesting thing. They are offering spatial video, which is pretty interesting. I don't know exactly what that is. I'm going to look it up.
Spatial video.
So Apple has this thing called spatial audio, where if you watch it, it is essentially the audio is it's moving audio. So like, for example, like let's say you turn to the left and you're watching a movie this way. Let's say like if your camera where your phone actually is, that's the screen you're looking at. If you were to, let's say you turn to like your right or your left, then you're going to only hear audio in your right side or in your left side. So you're going to, whatever ear is pointing the direction of your screen on your Apple product, that's what spatial audio is. And it will also sound like real. So like I remember one time I was watching the Bad Batch and I had it in spatial audio, like the spatial audio option, and it sounds like you're actually in the setting of where you're at. So everything sounds more like if the characters are further on screen, then they're gonna sound further away from you. And
so in movie terms, it's like Dolby.
Yeah, exactly. It's based. Yeah. It's the way to think of it is it's essentially Dolby, but and there is moving audio as well.
That's cool.
Spatial video will capture 3D for your Apple Vision Pro. So it's only going to be offered with your $3,000, your brand new $3,000 Apple VR.
Yep. Apple, you sneaky little B word.
Yeah.
You always find ways to promote your products. One way
video.
or the other. Because fun fact, Olivia Rodrigo's new album released, obviously. But her recent music video called Get 'Em Back, for the music video for Get 'Em Back, is all shot on an iPhone 15 Pro. Fun fact, little BTS on that. So that released today when obviously it was the iPhone was announced, or for you listening, Tuesday. But yeah, so just another thing. I'm gonna check out that video and see how it looks because obviously it's interesting. And again, you can do so much now with your phone. Like it's basically like photographers will even go out and be like, yeah, this is basically like a $1,300 camera. You can do so much. It's insane. Yeah, especially with the if you like do video too, the 4K is like fantastic.
we record this podcast on our phones.
Yeah.
You know, that's like almost unheard of.
Yeah, we used
A couple
to. I
years
mean,
ago.
when we started out, we were thinking of like we were looking at cameras, and I remember looking at like a Sony for like 700 that was supposed
Yeah.
to be for like video editing and like blogging or vlogging.
Yeah.
And then now we are recording with our phones.
The titanium on the phone almost looks like a gunmetal finish, which I do like. I think it looks nice.
I like that word, gunmetal.
Yeah, it's like because gunmetal, a gunmetal finish is a lot different. Like it's like gunmetal gray, which is different from like your average gray. And then there's like your clay gray. Obviously, I'm pretty sure like those colors have like actual real names. Like they're like if you go and look it up, it's not gonna be called gunmetal gray. It's probably gonna be called like, oh, I don't know, Lupus 463 or something like that, where it's something completely stupid. Like
the colors on like on your computer system when they're like more serial numbers than they are like descriptions.
Yeah, they're not orange. It's actually
like this shade of red is like 0004253, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what? Just say it's red. It's darker literally. Red. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? You know?
It's blood orange.
Yeah.
Blood orange.
What is that? Well, you know what blood orange is, right? Come on.
Oh my god.
Come on. But it looks cool. I mean,
yeah. I mean, we got a pink watch. I mean, we got a pink watch and a pink phone now. I think everybody should say thank you, Barbie.
Pink.
I'm kidding. But I mean, come on. It's like
has there never been a pink iPhone before?
Never. It's been rose gold. Now we're getting pink. Not hot pink. We're just getting pink.
Yeah.
I sent you the sleigh. I like pink, but then again, when it comes to iPhones, I'm gonna be real with you. Even though I love the color, I'm gonna still put a case on it. And even though I have Apple Care, I'm gonna still put a case on it because I'm dumb. And I also am a partial adult and I make choices. And then I throw my phone on accident on the floor.
Yep.
And maybe I lose my phone sometimes, you know. So I'm gonna get a case for it.
I sent you the
and a screen protector.
Yeah. I sent you the 15, the standard 15s where it was 9 to 5 Mac. That's a Twitter account I love following for Apple like Insight. And they said the 15 colors looked like they were left out in the sun too long. As in terms of like if they were like they faded over time, which I thought was funny. And then I told you, I was like, if you take away the black, it's literally the colors of rainbow sherbet ice cream. And it's like, because if you do, they're like the rainbow sherbet like ice. I'll put a photo up of the new iPhone colors.
People were comparing it to, I forget what iPhone it was, but when they came out with those different colored ones, like the iPhone SE.
There was the iPhone 5Cs.
The 5Cs, the 5Cs.
They were the cheapest iPhones you could ever get. They're like $300. They were stupid cheap. For children. All made of like all plastic. You drop it, your phone was like brand new phone. That was like iPhone's disposable.
Yeah, it was garbage.
I remember because I had it.
You had the 5C?
And it broke. It broke so many times. This is before cases were like a thing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, because that market shot up once the iPhones came out like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like when you think about it, most cases are more appealing towards like iPhones than the Samsungs because like most Samsung cases are kind of just like they look like what is it?
Survive a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, they look like those third. Oh my god!
I don't understand. I'm not
gonna finish this joke.
Like I don't understand people who use Samsung phones. Like I don't. Like I really don't. If you use a Samsung phone, it's because you don't understand how Apple works.
Granted, though, I did. So back in junior year, I did a switch, and I went to the Galaxy S3.
I remember that
for like a couple months.
Yeah.
And basically, all the features that like the iPhones have now were present there. However, not as like the customization of your home screen and have it widgets and all that stuff. You know, like the game of the iPhone was like, I mean, the iPhone game just like hopped on that recently and made things better. But the design was like, I mean, I don't know what to compare it to at the time, but you know, to each their own. However, I'm like, I think I said this before. I was like, iPhone is like cult. Like
Yeah.
you, once you have it, like that's all
There's
you
no
know.
leaving.
There's no leaving it.
They
Yeah,
make it simple.
and then you're also gonna get bullied if you have a green
Yeah.
text.
Yeah.
That's a factor now.
Yeah.
If you have a green
So
text, you're not in the group chat.
so
Like it's not.
stop green bubble bullying. Just buy an iPhone. Simple as that.
Yeah,
Simple as
it's
that.
actually it's just an act of making you get to better places.
Yeah, exactly. If you have iPhone, you're better. It's simple as that. And if you use an Android, specifically Samsung, I would say, because if you're buying like a basic ass Android, like one where you can get for like $50, all right, okay, I won't knock you for that, you know.
An Android for fifty
Well, you can
dollars?
get like
Where?
stupid cheap throwaway like Android phones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like if you get an older model, yeah.
yeah. But like if you're using like the Samsung, like a new Samsung like Ultra, like a 21 Ultra, 22 Ultra, or even like the 23, like what are you doing? Just buy an iPhone at this point.
Yeah,
Just
I
buy.
had a Galaxy Watch at 1.2.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot back then,
Remember
but
when?
most
remember back in the day with Samsung, where the Samsung phones, where it was when you would get a video from them, like a snap, and it would be all pixelated, and it
oh
was the
yeah,
worst. Now it
it
just looks
was
like they're blurry, like there's like a
yeah.
blur
No,
tint
but
on
this was a
them.
thing not only on Snapchat, but it was on Instagram, like too. Like the camera quality would just go so bad if you were
Yeah,
uploading from a
yeah,
Samsung phone. Like obviously all the apps are now just like they're like Apple first,
yeah. 'Cause
Samsung
Apple's
later
better. It's simple
because
as that.
yeah.
Apple's better.
Even
Apple.
the emojis are cringe.
Yeah, emojis are
Like,
cringe.
what is this?
Here's what I'll
It
say.
made me
Apple may be late to the game, but Apple always tends to do it in a way that is customer.
fashionably late.
Yes, like the customers want what Apple's putting out. And that's simple what it is. The consumers, I should say.
You decide though, guys. Are you an Apple or a Samsung? This is gonna be a
Look,
battle.
here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll
Hailable
say.
is
If
time.
you are an Android user, just go ahead and unsubscribe. We don't want your subscription anyways.
Well, hold up. Yeah, we do actually.
No, we don't. I
Hang
don't.
on.
I personally don't. Okay. So
Cut the cameras
you hear me?
right now.
You hear me? You hear me?
Jesus.
No, yeah, no. All right, we gotta move on though. Gotta move on.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, this took a little while, but I mean, it's
No.
technically related because again,
This is. I
we're
mean, we did the
yeah, I
recording.
mean, dude,
Apple is on the cusp of the cinema game.
we're lit. Yeah, and also too, they want to be their own studio
Yeah,
as well,
they
and
pumped
they're
$1
trying
billion
to.
in their studio to get films out in theatrical runs. They're on the cusp.
And they got some good actresses
Can't
on
wait
Apple
to
TV. Like
can't
yeah.
wait till
But moving
Apple.
on.
No, to finish it up, can't wait for Apple to say, hey, with your Apple TV Plus subscription for an extra $10 a month, you can go see 3 of our films a week in our brand new Apple
Dude,
Studios theaters.
AMZ would lose it,
What
bro.
imagine if Apple bought AMC? No, that's monetizing at that point or monopolizing at that point. There's no way. There's no way. They can't acquire
What they
Disney.
can do is they can they can join forces like Disney and ESPN did
Yeah.
and Hulu and like
They really wanted
merge
to.
AMC Plus with Apple TV.
I remember one time I had said Disney should just buy AMC films where they can charge other studios to put their films in theaters. They can charge them an additional price on top of a percentage of the ticket sales. And I remember somebody's like, "Yeah, you're evil for that." And I was like, "You know what? I'm a businessman."
Someone like above us was listening to our conversation.
They're
They're
like
probably
these,
like, write that down, write
these,
that down, write that down.
these dummies have some really good ideas, and it's a good thing
Yeah.
they don't know how to take advantage of those ideas.
Yeah,
You know,
seriously.
or they're not in the position to take. Go ahead, Disney, just run me my money, please. I'll just tell you what to
Yeah.
do, and then
Remember where you got your information.
exactly.
One thing though, just to kind of cycle out that, two things actually. One, if you're an Max subscriber, AMC Plus original shows are on Max to stream like as of right now, all the way into October for a limited time. So like Fear the Walking Dead's on there, Gangs of New York.
Mhm.
I think that's a movie. No, there's gang something. It's like a BBC show. An Interview with a Vampire on there as well. I just finished the first season. It's really good. Two, The prices are going up again, you guys. Hulu is going to be like $17. I'm pissed. And then like I think Disney is going to $13 now, which is insane. And now I'm really just sitting here with my bank statements like how do I finish this? How do I like how do I come full circle with it? Like do I stop? Do I calculate how many hours I spent on one streaming service
Yeah.
first and like decide because it's getting insane. Or unless y'all gonna just make online cable, please, and make it
So
one one payment.
so Verizon gives me Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for free. For being a Verizon
With ads or without
carrier. No,
ads?
Hulu I think's with ads. I'm not sure. I haven't used Hulu just yet. ESPN is without ads because there's like one tier. Disney Plus obviously has no ads. That's why Disney's gonna get expensive.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. Well, yeah. They'll introduce the smaller tiers at some point. They've already talked about that. But there's no word on if like they're gonna take that away. I hope not.
I don't know.
But
But so T-Mobile gives me Netflix for free, and they're also offering Apple Plus. But I have the Plus included with my Apple membership, the one that has everything in it,
oh, the Apple
like
One.
music, the Apple One
Yeah.
thing. So like that's covered. Um, but you know, like that's what that's what I mean by like bundling things. Like in that sense, it makes sense. But to be having to pay like each and every streaming service, it's just getting absurd. But that's my final
Yeah.
things on that. Like whatever. But moving on to one of our other topics,
Go ahead and take this one.
little movie news, info for y'all. Hopefully, people have seen this show. I did growing up. Every now and then I would catch an episode. But Murder She Wrote, a movie, is in the works at Universal. Dumb Money writers and producers Amy Pascal are attached to the project. This article comes from Variety, written by Michaela Z, and it states that a movie is in the works at Universal Studios Pictures with its writers Lauren Schucker Blum and Rebecca Angelo, with the producer Amy Pascal attached. Variety confirms Bloom and Angelo joined the project prior to the writer's strike and will not resume their work on the screenplay until the Writers Guild of America and the Elite Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers have reached a deal. The Murder She Wrote film is among the writers' next projects Bloom and Angelo's representatives shared with Variety. The original Murder She Wrote, for those who don't know, series starred Angela Lansbury as mystery writer and amateur detective Jessica Fletcher, who solves murders that occur in the fictional town of Cabot Cove, Maine. The crime drama series ran on CBS for 12 seasons from 1984 to 1996. Lansbury scored an Emmy nomination for every season, but never won the award, unfortunately. Murder, She Wrote was created by Peter S. Fisher, Richard Levinson, and William Link, and Universal's Television produced a long running series. Basically, it's just basically announcing that this is gonna be a new show, which I'm really excited about because one, like I do really enjoy Murder She Wrote. First of all, I love the title; it's very Agatha Christie. Um, but I also love a detective show. I love any type of like true crime drama that are on. True Detective being one of them. And even among the other sorts of things. But I like this, and I wanted to share this with you guys because obviously right now this is just upcoming news. However, with the writer strike going on, everything's pending. But it's something to look forward to and something to dive in. Hopefully, in this reboot, um, especially being a TV series, a movie. I mean, um, it captures the essence of the show. Now that's kind of hard sometimes because, in a sense, too, what they could do is kind of like play it out as like the finale, in a sense, or they could requel it and do a reintroduction to the main character of Jessica Fletcher, and start a franchise there because if it's 12 seasons long, like they're probably doing their homework right now to capture the essence of every season and kind of fix it into a whole plot that can ran from an hour 30 minutes to 2 hours depending on how long they want to do this project for.
I
um
don't think it will be in the sense of they're just trying to wrap up this character's story.
right.
It's probably gonna be something like Magnum PI, a
Oh
new
yeah.
take. Maybe not a new take, but very similar, modernized essentially. You
Yeah,
know,
I hope
um,
it just has its charm that the show did, you
yeah,
know. But obviously it's gonna have a more like modern take. So usually those are fun. Those are nice. we'll see how this goes, but I'm excited for that.
I've never seen any of the original show, so I mean, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I
You
mean, you
know,
can watch like highlights like on Watch Mojo. You don't have to like sit down throughout the whole thing. But
it,
like if you watch Mojo it
the
or like
main
anything on YouTube,
this main character from Murder She Wrote. This is also the old lady from 101 Dalmatians, right?
yes.
Okay, just making sure. It's like this girl looks like she's ready to save some Dalmatians. So
Yeah, she was oh man, I forgot her character's name, but yeah,
she just passed like last year. I remember
unfortunately.
that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've never
but
seen any of her original show. Maybe I'll check it
she's a
out. I'll have to check
star.
it
She's
out.
a star for sure.
Yeah.
But moving on to the last topic.
This is
This is
interesting. I when you sent me this topic and I was reading it, I was like, ooh, we got some drama.
it's juicy right
Yeah.
now.
So
So this comes from E
I could
News.
take this one.
Oh yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the Writers Guild of America slams Drew Barrymore for talk show return amid the strike. Dude, the title itself, just go ahead and just like, yep, this is already good. This is written by
Bro.
Keisha Ford. So, like you said, off of E! News. But 4 months after the Writers Guild of America officially went on strike following failed negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, also known as AMPTP, 2 months after SAG-AFTRA joined them on the picket line, Drew Barrymore confirmed her daytime show will return for season 4, September 18th. In a statement shared to social media on September 10th, the TV show host referenced her decision to step down as the host of the 2023 MTV Movie and TV Awards in May, noting that her show will be in compliance with not discussing or promoting film and television that is struck of any kind. I made a choice to walk away from MTV Film and Television Awards because I was the host and it had a direct conflict with what the strike was dealing with, which was studio streamers, films, and television. She wrote in the message post on Instagram. It was also in the first week of the strike, and so I did what I thought was the appropriate thing at the time to stand in solidarity with the writers. She also added, and to be clear, our talk show actually wrapped on April 20th, so we never had to shut down the show. However, I am making the choice to come back for the first time in this strike for our show, and that may have my name on it, but it is bigger than just me. Um, that's interesting. I can read you it's a pretty long quote, the
You
full
guys can. We'll
quote.
probably just link it because
Yeah,
it's she posted on her Instagram. It's like a full on apology letter. It should be.
yeah.
But girl,
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is dumb. This is
girl,
dumb.
like, dude, read the room.
Yeah, there's
Are you serious? I
it's a
mean, like,
bad look.
it's just not good, especially after it came out that Jimmy Fallon is a POS behind and basically having a toxic work environment.
Yeah,
And not
it's becoming a
only this
common
be
thing with
yeah,
talk show hosts.
obviously, like, by default you shouldn't trust celebrities because like they're celebrities. You don't know them that well, but it's just the surface factor of it all. However, like, girl, what are you doing?
The
Like, what are
issue
you
I
doing?
the issue I have with this is the fact that anybody who was working on this show before the strike, and those who are desperate in the need of like, hey, are considering that maybe either going back to the job or applying for any openings that this job may have, are kind of going to be like, well, I kind of do need work. You're kind of forcing people's hands into something that is unfair when they deserve better pay and better,
Of course, it's
better
such a morale
residues
compromise.
or
It's like it's not
residuals.
even a compromise, but it's like you're kind of putting them against the
You're
wall
forcing,
here.
yeah, you're forcing them. You're backing them into a corner. You're forcing their hand.
Straight up. The guild has and will continue struck shows that are in production during the strike. Um, a statement on Twitter was released. Any writing on the Drew Barrymore show is in violation of the WGA strike rules. That already is like,
How quick before
just
it gets
because it's
shut
not related
down?
to film, yeah, it's like it's that you're sending out your show to die. Like you were doing so good. The show was getting really good reviews. Like she brought on so many guest stars, and almost everybody like looked like they were having a good time. It didn't feel scripted. It felt genuine. And then
Yeah.
like now for her to do this, it's just kind of like a career move. It's a career suicide. Like it's not. I mean, I know Drew Barrymore is a staple and everything, but it just wasn't the right choice. And I think at some point she's just gonna come out with an apology letter, and
Yeah.
maybe production will halt. Maybe like honestly, maybe after the first episode, because that first episode is supposed to release this September 18th.
Yeah. Later this month.
So
It's in less than a week. So next Monday.
yeah,
Next month, or yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's dumb. You know, it's stupid because like my thing is like, okay, like let's say she didn't, and like the studio threatened like, hey, we're gonna fire you off the show then. You know, because we don't know obviously the full story. Maybe the studio's kind of forcing her hand as well. Because at the end of the day, someone like Drew Barrymore, she doesn't need to make any money. At the end of the day, she's made enough money to where she doesn't have to stand, if she really doesn't want to, stand in solidarity with the actors. That's
of
just the
course.
truth. That's just like, let's like plain and simple. The entire cast of like Oppenheimer, when they walked out, they didn't have to do that because they've all made enough money to where they don't need to stand in solidarity if they didn't want to. If they really wanted to be, selfish people in that way, they could have done that. And
Yeah. Also,
as
realistically, they probably didn't even want to stay for the premiere. They were probably over it. Like after many interviews and going on tour for this, like interviews and getting
yeah,
asked the same questions, like you can see in Cillian Murphy's face that he does not enjoy the tour
you
process
get
at all.
tired. You get tired of it. I mean,
Yeah,
look at
of
Chadwick
course.
Boseman, how tired of he was of being asked to do
Absolutely.
Wakanda Forever. You
Yeah, I
know?
mean, like, and yeah,
Yeah,
may he rest in peace.
yeah. Rest in
But
peace.
it's like it's just one of those things too that like you can be unproblematic when you're rich if you just go off the grid and vacation somewhere.
Yeah,
Please, like, just do that because anything you do moving forward is just not helping it, and then also too, you're just gonna look like an asshole.
yeah. It don't
And the
look
internet
good.
will freaking tarnish your name, whether you are, you're not, or you're not. And whether you think that you're doing it morality wise, other people are gonna come on there and crush you because that's how the internet works right now.
Yeah. And it's hard to believe like she couldn't get work. Maybe she doesn't want to do films or even TV shows
Yeah.
and just
But
kind of
like,
wants to
dude,
do a steady gig in that sense.
there's a segment of her show like dedicated to film and television, and she would have guest stars that were on this show, like kind of like self promote, like promoting, but like in a like less scripted way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna talk about? You gonna be like Oprah, where you just like come on and talk about like reality? Are you gonna
It's
turn into this Maury show? Like, I don't know.
yeah, it's just a bad look.
It's just
Simple as
not.
that.
Yeah, it's just not a good look. And
Yeah.
like again, not two men saying like, "Hey, girl," but like we were just kind of saying, read
No,
the
because if
room.
Jimmy Fallon came out and did this, I would feel just the same way where it's just like,
Same.
you
Yeah, no,
know,
for sure. I just have a personally strong dislike for Jimmy Fallon.
yeah. It sucks cuz I
I like Kimmel better.
really?
I like Kimmel better.
I
Yeah,
always liked
Fallon, I just
Fallon better.
don't like him. I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe his face.
I think it's the laugh, how he laughs for everything. That's
Yeah,
that's like the deal breaker with a lot of people where he just laughs at every single thing.
Martin Short went on an interview. Well, he was on an interview with him, and he actually was like, "You know what I really like about you, Fallon, is that you can pull off phony in the best way possible."
Dang.
Yeah, he said it to him safe
Damn.
to his face on the
You
couch. Like he
yeah.
played it off like a joke, but it was shade. And you know what he
Yeah.
did? He just laughed.
Hmm. I mean, like that's what you kind of have to do.
I mean, yeah, of
Because
course. What are you
even
gonna
like
do?
Dakota Johnson threw shade on the multiple times she's been on with Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, for sure.
So
And she basically ended Ellen by saying, "That's not the truth, Ellen."
yeah, yeah,
Wow, history.
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah,
No, yeah, but at the end of the day, this is just yeah. You said it best. Read the room. Read the room. Like, come on.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. For someone that does obviously like read throughs, girl.
this is yelling in a library type of action.
Yeah, like bro, shut up. Like,
Yeah, like that's like
yeah, what are
literally,
you
yeah,
doing?
that's the best way. Like, read the room is like, it's a quiet library. Everybody's just trying to do their own thing, get done
It's finals week.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
And then here comes
uh,
Drew Barrymore running in, screaming at the top of her lungs because she doesn't care about anybody else. Not saying that's the case, but
I mean, it's I hate to say it and I hate to word it that way, but it's a slap in the face when she does that.
100%, 100%.
It's representing that.
Yeah.
Because like all these like people have already, some actors like Jack Quaid, he's like, I'm tired. I'm like, I've been out here for so long. When is this gonna change? You know, like when are we gonna meet a deal? And it's not that freaking hard. I mean, I will never know.
It sucks because, like, you know, he says I'm tired, like it's not that hard, but like for the studios, obviously, yes, it is that hard because it's easy to be that selfish. It's easy to be that money hungry and want to go home with as big of a paycheck as you need when you're not going to use majority of that.
Right.
Of those funds.
You know, because people,
you know, you're setting up your family's wealth for the next 100 years and you're going to be alive for only 25 of them. You know, so it's just like, okay, more power to you, but it's just like, okay, you know?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think it's gonna wrap it up though.
Yeah, sign us off, man.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. If you are, if you're not, you should be. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Unsubscribe if you're an Android.
You should watch because I'm debuting my Twilight shirt. So you guys should actually hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell to catch more cool shirts.
If you're an Android user, unsubscribe, please.
No.
Please, we don't want that subscription. Get that negativity out of here if you ask me. But no, in all seriousness, guys, thank you always for the support. Thank you for the likes and the shares. Thank you for the views on last week's episode because there was a lot there. It was clickbait, I'll admit, but hey, is what it is. That's what it is. That's what this is. This business is clickbait business.
Maybe
this
or we maybe were like, oh, finally I feel seen. Yes, it's the cult, and people were like, let's see what these guys have to say, and nothing was about Taylor Swift except for like
3 minutes. Yeah. Oh, maybe 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe it was like, AMC. Oh, Taylor Swift's in theaters. Let's move on.
That ass.
No, yeah, but
I did get my ticket though. I will be seated October 13th at my local AMC in IMAX.
My buddy, who is the movie manager, said that it sold crazily the first week, and then the second week,
the day of. We. If you haven't seen it, go check out our last episode. We do talk about Taylor Swift for 5 minutes. But yeah, it did sold out like the day of because it was like announced 1 hour, and after the hour that happened, like I couldn't find a good seat.
Yeah. But yeah, again, guys, as always, thank you for the support. If you already haven't, we got to our subscribe, but if you haven't already, check out our previous episodes of Movie News Monday and TV Inquiry. They have separate playlists. Also, if anybody else cares, it's worth mentioning, we do have a short playlist of 4 episodes that are called Originals, because those are the original run on this channel, as opposed to what we are now. So yeah, you can check those out as well, and then obviously the separate playlist for the podcast since we've been here since May. But but as always, guys, I'm Adam.
And I'm Miguel.
And this was episode 138 of Our Real Addiction.
Sick Harvest Magna.